Warm welcome. This is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch at the 7th of December 2024. The moon changed from the sign of Aquarius to the sign of Pisces. And what has happened is we had the new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, the moon of responsibility in Capricorn. Then we had the moon in Aquarius, double split, two possibilities, technical solutions. And now it's the Pisces moon. Okay, and that means Pisces moon is adding up to the forces of dissolving structures. To repeat myself, that means to come along and to get along with future aims, there have to be some structures to be dissolved. Old things have to go, new things should be able to come in. And that's basically the situation. It's a square position. The moon is going into a square position, but the moon will join, not today, but tomorrow, Saturn and later on Neptune too, and is going to put a heavy weight on the sign of Pisces. Now, that's the basic situation. The planet of Mars, in addition to that, got retrograde today. And he got retrograde in the sign of Lion, which is the sign where the new old president has Mars in. And retrograde Mars is kind of a retreat also, but who's retreating with a Leo Mars? Then again, there are retreats all over. Mars will be retrograde a long period, and that's a strong thing for, kind of a machinery crawling back. You could call that this way, until the 24th of February next year. Mars is going to be retrograde. The owners of a retrograde Mars in the personal chart have a tendency of a too slow reaction to what is happening in the outside. They always come a little late. This can be an advantage, but it can also be a fault, because sometimes it's good not to overreact, not to react too quick, and sometimes you need to have the exact timing. This is the thing about that. And that's about Mars retrograde. I used the word overreact. Actually, Mars retrograde is a weak Mars, and a weak Mars is a Mars that, then again tends to still overreact, because if somebody is weak, he starts to beat around anywhere without any sense of knowing what he does, So this is the Mars retrograde phase. I'm talking about mundane aspects, how these aspects fit in your chart or hit your chart. We have to look that up personally. Mars is in Leo. Where's your Leo sign? If you have Leo in the 7th house, for example, you might well feel the pressure from outside coming to you. If it's the 1st house, maybe you're a Leo rising, then it's the power coming from your side. Mars, though, is going to crawl back, let's call it this way, to the sign of Cancer. He's going to be back in Cancer again. This is that far that he's going back. Saying something generally about retrogradness. Some say retrogradness isn't a real effect, because the planets actually don't go backwards. They just appear to go backwards from our vision, from our side. But that's not 100% true, because the retrogradness makes a real shadow loop out in the universe, out in the cosmos. And that's a real physical effect. Mars is going to be back in the position of today as late as the 22nd of April. So this is going to take some time. Having said that, again, we have two major, most important aspects. I repeat myself, but a lot of people come in addition to the ones who have been listening yesterday. This is the reception in between Mercury, also retrograde, and Jupiter, also still retrograde, in the sign of Sagittarius. They are holding the whole thing of knowledge and wisdom coming up in a brighter sense. And then we have another reception. I've been talking about that yesterday already. That is between Uranus and Venus now, because Venus crossed the line to Aquarius today, and she's not only yes, she's in reception with Uranus. Uranus rules Aquarius and Venus rules Taurus. So this is all about liberty and finances and worth. And they are working together very well. So let's see what the outcome will be. That's the one reception, and the other one, of course, in between Jupiter and Mercury. I'm repeating myself, I see. That's basically the situation. So fasten your seatbelts for this square position of Moon and Sun. This is going to be the first square position after the new moon. And the moon in the sign of Pisces is in between restriction, Saturn, and high dreams, high longings for, escape, far out. This is all added with Neptune in the sign of Pisces. It's always helpful if we have a look at the mundane situation to see some personal charts. What is happening really? First, I want to show you one chart of a person that was, or still is, we don't know it yet, running for president in the country of Romania. He's an Aries person, and they recently, how do we say that? They deconstructed the election for president in Romania, which is not democracy anymore. Remember, Romania is a member of the EU, is a member of NATO, and the people elected somebody that is disliked by the persons who have a long plan, to put it that way, and he could have impressed the world by a big victory this Sunday, tomorrow, and they just cancelled the election, which is completely undemocratic. And in my view, this is the first, or not the first, but one of the first bricks out of the wall of the EU in general. You must imagine, if you're out there, my English listeners in the US or in Europe, there's a coup in Romania, which is unconstitutional, which is illegal, and it's just bullshit, and Germans don't even know. I'm one of the Germans who know that, but the minority of those who get information from international channels is very, very small. They like to do boom, ba-dum, 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 and listen to TV and things like that. This is, sorry to say that, my country. So this is the situation the EU is in. They can do things like that. Or remember the assassination attempt on Robert Fico, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, and he recovered unbelievable 4 shots in the belly, And this is what is going on in the EU. This is the first. How shall I put that? It's going to fall apart, because we have a lack of wise personalities. We had them 20, 30 years ago, but they are gone right now, and I don't see a future for the European community in that way going on. Okay, this is the one person I wanted to show. I didn't mention what's the signature. He has Chiron on his Venus, and I don't know the birth time, but if he is Libra rising, this would be a perfect explanation. You know, I guess he's a Libra rising. He's looking like a Libra rising. And so Chiron on Venus is really hurting his situation right now. He's in between, am I going to be brave and stay in the country, you know, and get on the next election train that they forced upon me, or should I leave the country to escape imprisonment, you know, with false accusation like they always do. That's mainly not interesting. But things are happening, and the Romanian people are not that stupid to be betrayed by that. So this is one of the next failed states, we could say. And then we have another personal chart which might be interesting. This is the chart of Mr. Assad in Syria. And you might have heard, lots of Germans haven't, because they are not into politics at all. But just to put it out and to show how relevant astrology is, you see Mr. Assad is having Saturn on his Saturn absolute exactly, and he's a Virgo born person, and now it's about the fate for the next 30 years, you know, that he should plan, and he has to plan. Let's see what is coming out of that. It looks right now not too good for the Syrian forces, and whatever will come out of that, I don't exactly know. But this is Assad's chart, and you see he's in his Saturn return exactly. Also, he has his Pisces moon, so as the moon is in Pisces now for the next 2 days, you know, he will be challenged hard, you know, because this is just energy at the spot where it's important. He's a full moon person, you know. Actually, this is the constellation of Johann Wolfgang Goethe, you know, because this is Virgo Sun and Pisces Moon, a dictator with poetical intentions, you know, but those are pretty often the worst ones. But what is going to come is probably not going to be better, so it's difficult to judge on a worldwide scale. So thank you for listening today. This is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch at the 7th of April 2024. And if you want to get in contact and have an astrological consultation on a private level, you'll get a Zoom link. We do a recording, and it's not that expensive. How much you can find down here at my blog site. And this is the connection to get in contact with me. Mind the DE at the end, because I'm a German astrologer. Thank you very much for listening. It's the 7th of December 2024.